So for today's podcast, I am pleased to be hosting, or I guess to have as my guest, Crypto Phoenix. Uh, I guess I would describe him as an up-and-coming kind of a trader on Twitter. I kind of caught sight of some of his tweets about some moves in both classical markets and especially in cryptocurrency markets. So I reached out to him to see if he'd be willing to come on our podcast. Because I'm just really interested by his analysis, and he seems to have some things really spot on. So, yeah, man, thanks so much for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. This is something new to me, so I'm definitely interested in doing it.
Yeah, right on. So can you give us, I guess, a little bit of background about yourself? Like, as I guess when we were messaging back and forth, you mentioned you used to be a mechanic, but you also have some computer experience, and obviously you're an avid investor. So how do you get this sort of interesting mix of skills?
Well, first off, I guess it's easy to say that I get bored a lot. So once I master one thing, I move on to something else. But before I got into investing in Bitcoin, I used to do electrical work and work on computers. I was kind of immature at the time, and I got a fast car and thought it'd be cool to go race it around, and ended up crashing it. From there, I lost my job and lost my apartment. And during that time was the come down from the 2019 Bitcoin bull run. So I'm hearing about how people are getting rich off Bitcoin, and I thought maybe it might save me. But I learned very quick that it's not a get rich scheme, and you got to really take the time to learn on how to trade.
Yeah. So what's, and I know that you tend to, or you had mentioned, or I guess I've seen also that you tend to stay up quite late because you're also watching classical markets in Asia, if I recall correctly.
Yeah. So recently, after all this COVID stuff happened, I recently lost my job. So I've been taking advantage of the time to stay up late and get in front of the markets. I tend to trade the Asian close and the NY session.
And just out of curiosity, I have to ask because you are American, correct? Just to clarify.
Correct.
Yeah. So did you, and I guess because we don't have no personal identifiers here, but of course you can choose not to answer if you prefer not to. But are you one of the few that when they if let's just say, assuming that you had received a stimulus check, would you have spent it on cryptocurrency? If I can phrase that in like a legally appropriate.
Oh yeah, I definitely did.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, man, right on. Yeah, it's interesting because we actually, so I guess a few weeks ago we hosted an event where we had it was about women in cryptocurrency, and we had the lead marketing manager or what have you from Uphold. I don't know if you're familiar with that company. It's kind of similar to a sort of eToro type of thing, but they do a lot of cryptocurrency. You can basically trade between cryptocurrencies and stocks and precious metals.
Yeah. Who were you talking to?
Yeah, Michelle. Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty cool. I've talked with Michelle before. I actually use Uphold myself.
Oh, really? Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So, because she had said, so I guess you'll be one of the statistics in it, because she had said that she confirmed that basically there were a lot of spikes, in whatever it was, the $1,200 amount that came in. And then of course there was that Twitter account, right? There was the Twitter account that was keeping track of, if you had bought Bitcoin around that time, then it is now worth, however much. And of course it's appreciated since then.
Yeah. I've even seen a account with Chainlink and how much your stimulus would be now.
Oh man, yeah. No, the Chainlink is insane. Well, I guess in that case, it's a nice transition. So what are your kind of preferred assets? And I guess you can even say, and I mean, are there even any stocks you're looking at, or of course we're going to talk about cryptocurrencies, but I guess we can start with the stocks, since that's what you've been staying up for. What do you have your eyes on these days?
Well, I mainly stay up because the crypto market seems to influx in volatility during the Asian Open and NY session, or Asian close and NY session. So when it comes to stocks, I have very minimal interest in them, but I am interested in a lot of chip stocks. because a lot of miners are looking for, the fastest computers to mine the most Bitcoin. So when you look at these chip stocks history, you can see an influx from the 2019 Bitcoin bull run to now. Whenever there's an influx in Bitcoin, there's an influx in the chip stocks.
Yeah, like computer chips, I guess. So kind of like an AMD in these companies.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. And then so in terms of crypto, what do you have your eyes on? Of course, Bitcoin. I heard Chainlink. Are those? I'm guessing you have some of that too.
Well, before I lost my job, I had a good stack of everything, but I had to manage my life and pull out a lot of investments just to survive. So right now, I only got about 30% of what I wish I could have. But when it comes to cryptos, I'm definitely involved in Ethereum or interested in Ethereum, and recently I've came across more interest in BNB and the Binance platform.
Yeah. I hear you on that. I guess I'll just quickly interject that, like, actually, so one of the articles that I wrote for CryptoMood for the company that hosts this podcast was actually, I think it was the top 10 coins that will last the next 10 years. And believe it or not, I included BNB on that list because Binance just has so much power and so much size. And like, yeah, I mean, I'm sure that eventually some decentralized exchange will come and kind of squeeze them out of the market and everything will be automated. But even then, what's to stop Binance from creating their own decentralized exchange that would use basically the BNB token as a utility token within a Binance ecosystem? Even if the Binance centralized exchange goes under, now they have the cards. Now they have whatever other products that they're working on that they're going to be rolling out. I personally don't have anything invested in BNB yet, but it's definitely one of the things that I'm looking at. Is that kind of the same reason why you're looking at it as well? You kind of see where it's role within a larger ecosystem?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Like when it comes to finding interest in any type of crypto, I look at the use case and see if it's actually viable to today's society, and I kind of look at when they launched and where they're at now, and see if they have any productivity in between. Then there's been some like Quantum or IOTA or Iris.
Yeah.
I've been definitely getting into, I guess you would call them like tech coins.
Right. Yeah. The kind of the ones that are they're kind of building more. Yeah. Like you said, kind of more tied to use case, something involved in tech, something that has a practical application. Because of course, there's a lot of cryptocurrencies that they're trying to just be, Bitcoin but better, or they're trying to be a payment network and whatever. And the fact is that there's so much competition in these spaces. You really need a cryptocurrency that has a practical use case that's very specific in what they want to do and also actually have the potential to do it. And I think one of the great examples for that, at least for me personally, is the basic attention token, where it's kind of underpinned by the browser. They recently opened up, I think, even to Japanese markets, and of course, you could say that they've had a little bit of shady practices with like autofill affiliate links or whatever it was that came out. But in any case, yeah, like I definitely agree with you. I'm definitely on the same page with you on that one, like with the use case. And I actually,
Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, you wanted to add something?
Oh no, you could continue.
Well, I just wanted to kind of backtrack a little bit. I was very curious about, because you said, and I'm sorry to hear, man, that you lost your job and all that stuff. Like that's really rough. I know I've a few friends in the States, and I know it's not looking too good. But thank God at least you had a little bit of cushion to fall back on, which kind of, I guess, brings me to this question. One of my speculations when all of these when coronavirus started was that people are going to be, of course, pulling out of their investments to basically sustain themselves. And one of my personal arguments, and maybe this is something you can speak to personally, or maybe if you know someone else that had gone through a similar situation, my take is that, let's say, so this crisis hits, right? You lose your job and you need some money, and so you go looking around at what you have, and you say, okay, what should I liquidate? And of course, you're going to start with, I think personally, let's say you have a larger portfolio. I feel like you would start liquidating cryptocurrencies first because they have the most value. Everything there is quite high. You can pull out, I don't know, like I always got this kind of gut feeling that when times are tough, like the people that are invested in cryptocurrency are going to be liquidating cryptocurrency, if that makes any sense. Because I feel like a lot of, at least I know personally, I'm very overextended. if anything was to happen financially, I'm gonna have to go touching my crypto because I keep so little in fiat because I guess I'm that big about the space. But I don't know, like, I don't know if that my question makes any sense there. You kind of get what I'm getting at, or
Yeah, like are people like more prone to go and touch their crypto in times like this?
yes, yeah,
I think for the majority, yes. I think a lot of fear has a lot to do with that too. A lot of uncertainty, and I don't know. I was raised to always question things, and I have a different view on our government than others. So I look at USD and cash as like a big scam. So when times like this happen, I'm like, I'm moving everything into crypto right now.
yeah, yeah, definitely, and especially
and,
with all the printing, yeah.
yeah, and Uphold has really helped out with that.
Yeah, right on. Shout out to Uphold, I guess. And
Oh yeah,
um and,
definitely.
and what are your takes on I guess the near future? Because of course the price of Bitcoin, Ethereum have gone up recently. I mean at least I hope that you made a nice little you had your allocations ready and you made a nice little profit there.
Oh yeah, on the recent run, definitely. I was a little caught off guard. To be honest, I've been caught off guard ever since March. Because I've like trained myself to trade off of fundamentals, and since March, every fundamental has been broken, and the market just keeps going up. We just keep printing money. You got you got all these retailers closing, mom and pop shops are closing down. You got a lot of civil unrest in this country, and the markets are booming.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
everything's
yeah, I've been, I'm a bull when it comes to crypto, but in the short term, you gotta be able to change your bases, or else you're gonna end up getting bit in the hornet's nest. But I was definitely skeptical all the way up until $10,500, and I was like, if we flip 10,500, I'm becoming bullish.
Yeah, I'm honestly I'm in the same boat, and for me, like, I don't mess because there's always a part of you that's like, oh, like, should I sell now and then try and buy when it dips down? For me, I kind of I came to this, at least my personal level is I don't mess with anything over 10,000. The moment it goes over 10,000, it's just hands off. Because it could go up. If it goes under 10, then I buy. If it's going up past, I'm just not touching it until I hit whatever it is, whatever level, which honestly I haven't decided yet, like where I would start taking profits, if any. But I think
Yeah,
it's really, yeah.
yeah, I can see what you mean. I found myself kind of just scalping more below 10,500, but now that we're above that range, I don't really want to be swinging bags around. I just want to find a nice position and hope for the best here.
Yeah, no kidding, man. And what do you think that we might see another pullback? Of course, with this, because I mean, it's kind of, I guess, at least on my end here, it's kind of easy because the Czech Republic has kind of already, I don't want to say beat this thing, but sort of has beat this thing. It's easy to forget that the rest of the world is kind of still in this situation. So do you think like we could see another pullback in Bitcoin, or do you think that because it seems at least to be kind of correlated to classic stocks that we might just see it keep going up, especially now that the banks have kind of green lighted the regulators green lighted banks to custody.
Well, that's the thing. Like you said a couple minutes ago, you got people who run to their crypto right away and will pull it out. But like in this situation, I feel like we need to look for more volume from institutions and banks, and I definitely feel like there's going to be a race amongst banks to please their investors. And
Right.
when they look at this market, they see a lot of money going into it, and some of that money's coming out of the stock market, and I know that they want it back.
Right. Oh, I never thought of that. It's a really good point that, yeah, like you said, the banks, they're trying to give their investors, even people that are holding savings, they're trying to find a vehicle that will allow them to continue giving some amount of returns. So if like you said, yeah, like if cryptocurrency is going up and now they have the green light to invest in it, then of course they're going to allocate at least a small percentage. And like you said, where's that money going to come from? It's going to come from the stock market. and that means that
Yeah.
yeah. So do you think that this, like, how would, I mean, it sounds kind of maybe a strange question, but how do you think this, like, what kind of maneuver do you think would kind of take place to try and pull that money back into the stock market? Like, what do you think would drive that?
You
If you have
know,
any ideas.
at this point, I've been questioning that myself. It's been very tough with the market conditions and what's going on and how the markets are reacting. Like I was saying,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's not too good,
like
but yeah, man.
if you look at the way like you were discussing on the one who wants to like spend their money and stuff, I've been thinking like what majority of your middle class person is going to be investing in the Bitcoin right now when they can't even pay rent.
Right. That's a good point. Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
that's where I was going with looking for institutional investors. And if we see that come in, I definitely think that Bitcoin can push up to $14,000. From there, I think there might be a slight pullback, and from
Yeah.
there, you know, it's all speculation.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. Yeah, the 14 grand will definitely be the next kind of resistance point. I mean, we kind of,
Yeah.
we touched 12 and it just, shied away.
Oh yeah, and it was surging too. And you also got banks out there who are banking on gold to rise past $2,000 in this month.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So wherever gold and silver is heading, I believe that's bullish for Bitcoin if it's going up.
Yeah, that's so you think, sorry, you think there's a correlation then between the two? A little bit, maybe?
Yeah, this time around I do believe so. I think the markets are different from 2017 because of the availability that people had to Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't think we've seen correlation like this until now because it's available to a lot more investors than it was back then.
Yeah, and I kind of wanted to present a counterpoint to what you had said earlier, how you said, people, what people are going to invest in crypto if they can't pay their rent. But I think you might get into another scenario where, the little money that they have, it's like, okay, I have $400 and my rent is 600 and I can't afford that, but it's the beginning of the month, and if I put that money into, into crypto, into the right crypto, then I could increase it, by that 20, or sorry, by that 50% or 30% margin that I need in order to make the rent. Do you think that that's, I mean, but I imagine that would be a very small percentage of people.
If they have a proper analysis of the markets and they feel confident behind it, then by all means. But if it's based off of speculation and rumor, I would highly encourage people to do their research about this market before just throwing in money that they are relying on.
Yeah. Well, I guess then to close off, then I kind of wanted to get your take. What would you recommend, I guess, to people that are interested in cryptocurrency and looking to get into trading? Are there any particular resources you use, or any, or even, like, I don't know, certain types of indicators, or, we had mentioned use case before, but in terms of resources, like, is there anything that, I guess, what advice would you give to someone that's just, I guess, trying to dip their toes into cryptocurrency investing?
For anyone who's like trying to start out day trading, they need to realize that it's probably one of the hardest things out there to do. You know, only 5% of traders will make it in a 10-year span. And really take time to learn about the markets, learn self-control, learn how to control your emotions, you know, create a trading strategy and actually stick to it, and learn about risk analysis.
Yeah. And any resources in specific, or just, I guess, just Google?
To be honest, there was like two main traders where I learned most of my stuff off of, and that was Rainer Teal. He has a podcast on iHeart, and then another guy was Jared Wisely. He's from livetraders.com.
Okay. Yeah. So it's damn. Okay,
Yeah,
that's awesome, man.
they kind of share like Jared, he'll share more of traditional markets, like you know the U.S. market, and then Rainer Teal will do like forex. But most of their information is just about like general market and you know what to look for and what indicators to use. I don't believe in using like 5 different indicators.
Yeah. Yeah. Try and keep it simple and bigger picture stuff, especially if, well, I guess depends on your trading frame.
Yeah, and like for anyone new, they just need to realize like these indicators aren't like telling them what's going to happen. It's just telling them what's currently happening, and
Right.
you got to learn how to identify trends based off of what's given. But everything that you see out there is all speculation at the end of the day.
Yeah. Well, that's why I guess I'll do a little bit of self promotion here. Did you have a chance to check out kind of what CryptoMood does, or you didn't to get around to that article?
This past week, I unfortunately have not, with the price of Bitcoin moving up so big.
Yeah. So I guess then I'll give you a little bit of a basically summary and also to our viewers. So basically, CryptoMood is a startup based out of Brno in the Czech Republic, and they develop financial applications. And one of the applications is called CryptoMood, and it's a crypto. There's a mobile app and a desktop terminal, and basically what it is it's an AI that scans over 50,000 sources, social media and news, and it will analyze basically the content and titles of like news articles, of like like Twitter posts, Reddit, you name, like almost anything that's like open and publicly accessible. It will grab all of that data. It will analyze the language as either being positive or negative. It will aggregate it all together, and it will create like a real time news sentiment and social sentiment score, which is basically like how the market feels about a cryptocurrency in the news and on social media. And we do that for over like 3,000 cryptocurrencies. And the amazing thing, and again, not always, because there's always some sort of bi-directionality there, but generally the assumption is that news will influence how traders feel, and how traders feel is what drives the market. But of course, how traders feel is also influenced by the market, and what the news says can be influenced by what the market. So there is kind of a little bit of a feedback loop there. But we've had a few cases, and users have taken screenshots before this bull run in particular. Actually, a few users took a screenshot of our app, and it showed that there was a massive spike in social sentiment. For Ethereum, there was a huge spike. People were like, "Oh my God, something's coming!" And then, like 2 or 3 hours later, you just see this massive rally. So that's happened a few times before. And even like traders that have been testing the tool have found that it's giving them an increase in returns. They've run like simulations on CME futures. And yeah,
tools like that are good for new traders and experienced traders, because new traders can get a sentiment from a reliable source, and then experienced traders can use the platform to also get ahead of the markets.
Yeah, exactly. But anyway, I just needed to do a little bit of lip service to our company there, because I thought it was suitable. But anyway, man, I don't want to keep you too much longer. I know it's real late where you're at, probably trying to get to bed and get a little bit of rest there. I want to thank you so much again for your time, man, and I definitely will be in touch. And I hope to have you on again sometime. And once you're kind of even deeper into the markets than you are now, and hopefully you'll be able to give us a rundown, kind of like what's that guy who does Mad Money? What's that guy, Kramer? You know this guy? Does that ring a bell?
I'm trying to think. No.
Yeah. I don't know, some like CNBC guy, and he's like has this really fast talking voice. He's like, gold is really anyway.
Okay. See, I try to steer away from a lot of mainstream media.
Yeah. No, I mean likewise, but it's you see it on YouTube occasionally, and I mean I'll watch like economic based stuff, but try and especially now you kind of want to. Yeah, you want to stay away from the noise and just try and keep your sanity, of course. But in any case, yeah, man. Thanks so much for your time, man.
Well, hey, before I go, you mind if I give a shout out to some people?
Yeah, let's hear it.
Well, if anyone has a chance to go follow them, go follow them. There's some great people. First person, Crypto's in. Next person, Deviant. And then Satoshi Flipper, Sniper XBT, and CoinMamba.
And these are all like traders or like analysts? Yeah, right on. Okay, sweet. Yeah, man, thanks so much. And I'm definitely going to check those guys out too, because I mean, like I said, the stuff that I see on Twitter from you is pretty awesome, and I'm always looking for people that are actually giving some sort of instead of just arbitrarily drawing lines and saying, oh, it's going to go up or down, I hate that so much. So it's to see like meaningful analyses like I'm seeing from your Twitter. It's amazing. And again, man, thank you so much for taking the time to be on the podcast. And we'll be in touch.
Yeah, no problem, man. Thanks for having me on, and I hope you have a good one.
Yeah, you too, brother. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.